Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another Rage Legends video. Alright guys, so today we don't have live arena yet, unfortunately, but there's a couple things I wanted to touch on. More what to expect from a free-to-play mid-game account. That I suppose I can say I didn't have the perfect start, but I also had a decent learning curve going into the game. So I never really watched videos or looked up guides in the game before I started. So I did make a ton of mistakes, and that's okay. But yeah, let me give you the rundown of what this kind of free to play in the dark is all about. So this is my current, I suppose, champion box. Include all of these. So as you can see, it's not insanely stacked, but it's got some really good champions. Emrys is a free mythical, so that's really nice, obviously. Nell managed to pull her from a primal shard with my luck, which is great. Ninja's free, Alice was free, Leo's free, Loki's free, Yannika's free, Ismael's a fusion. Nice. Lamas is free, Quintus is free, Mithral is free, Vesix is free, Arbiter is free, Sil is free, Titus was a fusion, Razan is free, Procat was a fusion, free, 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 fusion, free, pull, pull, and then pull, pull. So in terms of my Lego stash, oh, also free. A lot of them are not actually pulled from shards. I do have quite a few shard pull legendaries, but if you notice, a ton of these are free legendaries that I've obviously just grabbed up over the course of the, what's it now, year or so that I've been playing the game. Started last year. It's 2025 this year. Yeah. So it's been about a year that I've been playing the game. When I first started, I got Loki and Ninja as my free champs, I suppose you could say. Loki was the login champ. Ninja was my promo code. And yeah, I will say, you obviously, I don't know what it is now. It might still be Supreme Gallic or Tuhanarak. But when I started, it was Ninja and Sun Wukong. And both are really good in their own ways. But I went for Ninja, and my reason behind it is that, unfortunately, right, if you do pick Sun Wu or whoever else as your login code, you cannot get Ninja until they bring him back. He is a promo code, or he was, sorry, I think it was a login champ as well or something. So, and he was with a collab with the streamer, so you cannot get him from shards. Whereas if we go over to Sun Wu, where is he? He can still be pulled from shards. So the whole idea behind my decision was that if I can pull Sun Wu one day in the future, that would have made my decision to choose Ninja as my starter champ. Right now, obviously, there's Supreme Gallic and Tuhanarak, both insanely good. I think I'd more lean to the side of going for not Tuhanarak, but Supreme Gallic. So she's pretty good. She's got decreased speed on A1 with continuous heal. Great. Decreased attack block buffs. And then increased defense, increased speed, and a mini cleanse. Right? So she's really good in tons of areas as a support champ. But you know, you get quite a few support champs going through the daily login. Progression rewards. No, not that. Daily login. You get Visix, who's a great support champ. You get Sil, who's a great healing support champ. Yeah, not gonna really say any of the others are useful. I don't use any of them. Maybe Dark El Hain every now and then, but Haikatoon is good at the start. Don't use anyone else though. But you get two very good support champs there, and on top of that, you get Mathrala after farming up Hydra for a while. She's a massive, massive support champion to have. Um, you There's no real other insane ones, but I mean, just having Syl and Mathrala already gives you AoE passive healing from Syl with decreased speed on an A1, stuns on an A2, and a revive and ally protection on her A3. Very solid champion, very good in tons of dungeons for progression. Mathrala, obviously great in almost every single area of the game. She brings a double hit A1, poison. A2 is just a AoE hex that places increased defense, increased attack. And the A3 is strengthen and shield. So really great for keeping your team alive. So yeah, if you can farm those two up, well, this you just have to play for a couple of months, and it'll a lot of months, but you'll be getting your soul. Same thing with Visix, great for Fire Knight normal with a turn meter drop A1, decrease speed A2, and then provoke for Hydra, which is really solid. So yeah, I will say as a free to play, they do give you a lot of the opportunities to get good support champions, whereas damage dealers are generally at a premium. So I would definitely recommend starting off with Supreme Gallic, just because his kit is really useful all over. It brings the AoE smack that places HP burn, block buffs, and decreased speed, right? If they turn me to 750, but yeah, decreased speed can be placed. His passive is really great. Whenever he gets feared, True Fear Freeze, Provoke, Sleep, Stun, or Petrify, pretty much any hard CC, removes it, heals him, and he gets a turn. His A2 is a quadruple hitter, right? Places increased attack and activates HP burns. And then his A1 just increases durations of HP burns. Really solid champ. He can do a ton for you in terms of getting your team forward. So yeah, as far as free champions go, he's also a Void Affinity champ, which makes him insanely useful in every dungeon stage that needs an AoE HP burn. You know, and that's pretty much everywhere because it does damage pretty much everywhere. Except Fire Knight, maybe, it could be neither here nor there. It does have a quadruple hit A2, so that could be helpful, but yeah. So in terms of like starter champs, you have tons of good options right now. So yeah, I think you also, if you do it like today, I think today's the cutoff date, you can still fall into the Michelangelo chase. He's also another really, really good champion. Actually, I have mine built out here. It's not terribly fast, but he's got decent accuracy, decent crit damage. I just use him to place the debuffs. I just need to fully book this A2. Just needs one more book. We'll do that next CVC, I suppose. And yeah, decreased stack, leech, taunt, amazing. Decreased defense, stun, and spread. So really solid champ for that. So yeah, that's the first thing we need to cover in terms of being a free-to-play player. Second thing that we're going to look at, not the Forge, sorry, the Forge Pass. No, where? Oh, it's closed. Shoot. Oh, man. Well, guys, that doesn't help. But anyway, we can come to the Forge here. So that means I didn't get a chance to finish my Forge Pass, unfortunately. Didn't know it was ending today. Should have paid more attention. But the Forge Pass is basically where you're able to get special gear pieces such as Slayer, Righteous, Defiant, Ballsta, and Instinct, right? And some of those some of these gear sets are actually really good. Now, the problem is if you don't buy the Forge Pass, which means if you don't spend the money getting the gold Forge Pass, you only get, I think it's 90 of the gold pieces. And that's if you finish the Forge Pass. As you can see, I didn't finish mine. So I was unable to get those gold pieces for the Instinct set. But the golden Forge materials from the Forge Pass for free to play is so minimal that most of the time you actually have to play the game while ignoring and not using these sets. Yeah, it's one of those things. I've played for a year, and we can actually have a look. Slayer limited, Righteous limited, where Bolster limited, Instinct limited. So it's really not viable to bank on trying to get these sets unless you're buying the Forge Pass itself. So going forward, as a free-to-play player, you can kind of understand that you need to then farm up a ton of faction wars, because that's where you're going to get the best reward ratio, I suppose, compared to like the Forge Pass in terms of gear crafting. Perception is a really good set, and you get these bloodstone materials from faction wars. So collecting tons of those is great. Resilience for a new account can really be helpful to meet stat requirements on your tanky champions, because it's HP and defense, which is amazing. The rest you start farming from Doom Tower, right? So Doom Tower is also another area of the game where I will say you need to be really active as a free-to-play player, because these gear sets, I suppose, as a free-to-play and a spender, regardless of the kind of player that you are, these sorry, let's go here, reward info. There we go. These forge pieces, shall we call them, or materials rather, there we go. These pieces are really crucial, and you can see for each farm you only get about 3 to 5, right? Which is not much, but at the end of the day, this is obviously the highest stage of each boss, though. You get 3 to 5 of the legendaries, or 5 to 10 of the epics. If you can farm the top stages of any of these bosses over and over again, that 3 to 5 is really going to come in handy for you. Let's see. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, Doom Tower, another very crucial area to go towards your Forge Pass. Just starting out, you're probably going to be farming normal Doom Tower. I haven't finished mine yet, but you're going to earn tons of epic material going up. Save that. Save. Try to complete secret rooms if you can. The more secret rooms you can do, the better, because you start earning champion fragments from that, right? So as you can see, I've got Rian the Conjure ready to pull. I'm working on my Thea the Tomb Angel, and now I'm going on to Dark Kale, who is actually a pretty decent champion, right? So make sure you're farming your secret rooms in Doom Tower. Those kind of fragment champions can be really useful in fusions when you need to meet a champ chase requirement, 5,000 points or whatever it may be, and you can just pull a couple of the legendaries and epics you've saved up, bang bang, champ chase is complete. So very important to note that, right? Next thing, your Great Hall. Mine is not done well, unfortunately. Again, like I said, a lot of my time in the beginning of the game, first couple of months, was spent learning the game. Um, so obviously I was doing some live arena, and I was like, not live arena, some classic arena, sorry. And I was like, oh, I'm earning these medal things, arena medals. What can I do with them? And I came and I just, started spending, and I was like, oh, my champs need a bit more HP, bam. My champs need a bit more attack, bam. And I was like, oh, what if I get voids in the future? What if I? So I started kind of booking everything out willy-nilly, and then got to the arbiter missions, and you needed to obviously get some up to 10. Now I'm doing the Ramontu missions, and I need one, like another one up to 10. And I'm like, oh, I've wasted so many of my medals that I could only get those one to 8 at the moment. So make sure you spend your arena medals wisely. I know a ton of people will recommend spending it on accuracy. It's understandable. Accuracy is extremely useful almost every champ, except certain damage dealers, and except in very rare cases, certain support champions need accuracy. All right. If you take a look at someone like Emrys, he would need accuracy to place his Truthia decrease attack, but he does not need accuracy to remove stone skins and replace them. So, you're kind of at an impasse here. Do you go for the accuracy? Do you not? In his second form, his A2 ignores defense if he has less accuracy, right? So you actually don't want tons of accuracy on force. I've unfortunately fully done it, so I get a standard plus 80. So, for me, that is what it is. But for you, maybe you want to focus on getting crit damage high, dealing tons of damage. That's okay. That's cool. I wouldn't necessarily focus on these percentage stats first, or resistance, because you can just build that into a champ that needs it. You could build tons of HP, you could build tons of defense. Accuracy is something you could also build, but if you can find a way to reduce the need to build accuracy and rather get that into a different stat, that's a lot better, because that's 80 accuracy. That is the equivalent of taking, let's just see here, taking a banner with just a little extra, 16 extra. So with that extra 80 accuracy, you could possibly forego an accuracy banner on certain champs maybe, and opt for a resistance banner if I have one. There you go, a resistance banner, which should give you 96 resistance, I think. Do I have one on Mithrala? Guess is a 5-star, so it's only 78. Or you can imagine, so if you can only get 5-star gear, 78 is the equivalent of maxing out one Great Hall area slot. So definitely something to consider going into arena and getting those medals. Next thing, the tavern. The tavern's a very tricky place. You need to manage tavern resources extremely well. I am sometimes terrible at it, and that's saving up all these brews and barrels as much as possible. For champ training, saving up chickens as much as possible for champ training, and saving up skill tomes as much as possible. I've tossed mine in through CVC last week, so I'm rebuilding another stash for the next 2 weeks, hoping to get some mythicals for Embers. And then again, the potions. Make sure you can farm the highest stage of every potion keep to get the best possible potion returns. Right. So doing all that is just the basic of the game. Right? Once you graduate from that early game stage into mid game, that's where you need to start focusing a bit more on farming Iron Twins 15 as much as possible. That's where you need to focus on farming Sand Devil 25 as much as possible, Phantom Shogun 25 as much as possible. and tell you why, right? Farming up Sand Devil and Phantom Shogun 25 is going to give you the oils to ascend your gear and the dust to rework it, right? So as you can see, this is a speed boot. It's a decent boot. It's got HP percent and defense percent, which I really need for Esme. Just keep her alive, obviously. She's at 350 speed, which is really quick, but she's lacking with just that little bit of extra oomph. And because I only recently got to the point where I could farm 25 sand level, I don't have much chaos dust. The place I get my dust from is tournaments. So if you can't farm sand level 25, you have to wait for a tournament that gives these, or a hero's path or something, and that's where you get them. So as a newer player, as a early game, mid game player, sometimes you don't have the champions for that, and you're going to have to save your dust as much as possible. Save it and use it on the best gear and the best champs only. Don't go throwing it around, using it on everything, because it gets really tricky. Same thing goes for the Chaos Ores. These are not easy to come by. They come through tournaments, come through Heroes Path events, Titan events, those kind of things. Save them as much as possible for when you need them, right? Next thing, these 3 gear pieces at the bottom, chances are you are not going to use Chaos Ores on them, right? It just doesn't make sense, for one, because the chance that you roll back into a percentage stat is lower than, well, it's not as high. Let me just double check here. What is the chance of that? Primary stats. So you have 1, 2, 3 percentage stats, right? And then chess pieces can get resistance and accuracy. So you got a decent chance of rolling into one of those, but you also have a chance of rolling into flat stats, which you definitely don't want. Same thing for gloves. Gloves can roll into crit damage, crit rate, percentages, and flats, but not resistance and accuracy. So you have a very good chance of rolling into a flat stat, which makes the piece pretty much unusable. Boots are the worst. Boots can only roll speed and all the percentage and flats. So whereas gloves and chest have 2 extra, boots only have 1, which is speed. So chances are if you're rolling up a boot and you need to rework it, it's not really worth rolling up unless it's already a percentage stat and you don't need more speed on that champion, right? So there are varying cases. For the most part, when it comes to boots, you only want to keep speed boots, right? If you can keep speed boots, this is what's going to be game changing for your account, right? So that's enough of that. Let's go on to the next thing that you need to do as soon as you are a mid-game player, right? As soon as you reach mid-game, make sure your clan is able to fully hit top chest and kill Ultra Nightmare clan boss. If you are unable to do that, 1k or 2k, currently I can only 2k it. I just need to work out my team composition and I may be able to get it to 1 key, but at the moment I'm hitting 2 keys. Yeah, focus on getting a good clan that can get you 2 Ultra Nightmare chests and 2 Nightmare chests. If you can find a clan that can get you those 2, you're golden. You're starting to build steam, as we say, right? Hydra, another thing. If you can get a clan that can farm up top level Hydra, so currently we farm Brutal. I don't think we're able to farm Nightmare, but we farm Brutal, right? Top chest, solid. We can also hopefully hit top of Hydro Clash. If you can, even better. This is where you get your mythical books, right? If not from tournaments or paths or anything like that, this is where you are getting mythical books. Okay, so you just need to hit any one of these minimums for the clash, and your clan needs to finish within the top 3 to get a chance to get this. And mythical skill terms are very, very important in the end and late game. All right. Last but not least, Chimera. Um, in the beginning, right, when your clan is still kind of new and fresh, and for your account as well in the mid game, chances are you're not going to be hitting high trial counts, right? That's okay. Unfortunately, you need very specific champions and very specific team compositions and stats to be hitting good trial numbers. If you don't have that, focus on getting the highest chest possible, right? Not only for the rewards, because you need glyphs and I'm assuming and gemstones, sorry, and basalt, but you also need tons of starstone, right? This is going to give you starstone, clan coins, which is really important. It's going to give you these masses, which will help in getting new relics. It's also going to help you get high chests and Hydro Clash. I'm obviously not hitting the billions, kind of. I think I'm only at 220 million right now. Yeah. So I'm farming this chest, which has a chance to give me an epic gemstone, rare gemstone, some coins, and some basalt, right? Obviously, if you can farm higher, better, great. You know, you have a chance of getting a mythical gemstone. So yeah, these 2 clan bosses are definitely. I know you unlock Hydra at 50. Can't remember where Chimera unlocks. I was already past the stage for that. But when you unlock it, it's not when you should tackle it. Unless your account has had insane luck and gotten insane champions, these 2 areas will be blocked off to you for quite a while, right? Next thing, Curse City. Farm Curse City normal and beat all the possible bosses that you can, right? Because that's where you're going to get your merciless. Is it merciless? Merciless and supersonic gear. Yeah, that's what it is. So you're gonna get merciless supersonic from Curse City. Very important. Those 2 gear sets are really good for end game, right? So if you're able to get some good pieces from there, mid game, it's gonna really help you to fight against some of these end game champions as well and take them on. Going into things like live arena, you're gonna definitely pose a bigger threat if you can gear your champions in better gear than just your standard accuracy speeds sets, and instead rather starting to focus on specific set bonuses, right? And I think that's our next topic, making sure you understand what set bonus works well with which champion. All right, so let's take my speed booster Esme, right? So she's currently built in an impulse speed feral pinpoint set, right? Not insanely good. Why? Right? And the reason being, or the reason why it's not insanely good, is that it's just a mishmash of different gear sets, right? Just to meet stat requirements. The impulse does help. It's a live arena set, but it does help because it gives you a skill cooldown chance. So in arena or in long battles, this procs off quite a bit, and allows her to get back to her skills faster. All right, which is really good for someone who, for Hydra, let's say, does my block buffs, my weaken. Getting those skills back faster means I can keep block buffs and weaken up a lot longer, or I can keep increased accuracy and increased speed out a lot longer. Looking at someone like Emrys, Emrys is a champ that you need to survive at least one turn in your live arena fight. So I've got him built in Stone Skin, right? It's only one turn Stone Skin, but that's generally enough to just get him through, given the speed boosters I use. And you just want him to have quite a bit of HP, decent speed, good crit damage, low accuracy if you can, so that when he goes into his nuking form, he's able to smack down really hard on the enemies. Now, obviously, you won't be getting an Emrys for a while. So looking at someone like your Clan Boss Protector, getting a good Guardian set out on that Clan Boss Protector means that you essentially cover ally protection along with whatever else this champ brings, all because of one set. So those are the kind of things you need to think about, and I'll show you. Go to global. I've got a set build for doing regen solo farming, right? Got a set build for max HP damage dealers in relentless. Got the guardian set build, as we just went over. Got a curse set that is used for my curse champ in Hydra, a destroy set that's used for Scarab, and the Shogun crit set, which is used for my Shogun 25 team, right? So those are the kind of things you need to be thinking about as you reach the mid to end game. What kind of sets do I need, and can I build a set that you can throw onto any champion and it will work? So things like for faction wars, making sure you have a stun set or a toxic set or provoke set. Provoke also useful for Hydra. So these three sets for faction wars hard, really useful, especially stun in faction wars normal. If you can get a good stun set together on one champ that does a lot of AoE work, you can kind of I don't want to say cheese it, but you can glide through faction wars normal pretty easily. Things like a reflex or relentless set for skill cooldowns and extra turns. Divine sets are, you get these from your classic arena resets. They're not insanely good, but in the early game they can be useful. Yeah, the rest are all kind of mid-game sets. So Feral Slayer, all these 1 to 9 sets, you are only going to use mid to end game to build out 6-piece or 9-piece to get the stat bonuses. So for Merciless, you want to hit 6-piece for the most part. For certain champs, you want to go all the way up to 9-piece because they will just benefit more from that. Supersonic, again, same thing. 6-piece is pretty good, but going all the way up to like a 9-piece will make your speed booster insanely good. Again, though, getting a 9-piece requires you to be able to get the artifact, right? Or the accessory, sorry, supersonic accessories from the city, which again is not as easy as it sounds. So yeah, that's my kind of tidbits, guys. Oh, one more thing, right? Make sure to use your guardian ring to train up champions, right? Tip number 1 or number 5, wherever we are. The next tip, soul stones. Save, 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 save. Very tough, especially to get your hands on these two. Save them as much as possible because those are going to give you the best chance of getting good souls for your champs. As a free to play player, they don't come around often, and when they do, they are typically insanely tough to get, hidden behind possibly the highest tier of reward in tournaments and events. So make sure that when you get your hands on them, you save them as much as possible. Same thing with souls, don't just toss them out because you never know when you are going to pull a mythical or a legendary that fits the soul you have, right? I could somehow tomorrow wake up and pull a Corvus and I have a 4-star ready to go for him, or I just get lucky and happen to pull and drop the mythical, got a 5-star ready and waiting for him. So those are the kind of things you need to consider and think about going into the mid and end game of your account. I'm currently in the mid game, level 81, 4 million power. As you saw, I'm free to play. My champs are, a lot of them, free and accessible to almost every person in the game. So any teams and comps that I might have, you two would be able to perform. So yeah. Prism events, again, sorry, going off on another tangent, but Prism events are a really good chance to get champions, both for free-to-play champs, free-to-play players, and Krakens or whales or light spenders, you know. This is one of the events where spending may be understandable, depending on what's available. At the moment, this is one of the only ways to get your hands on Unity champs, this and 15x events. So when a Unity champ does pop up, it really might be worth it to consider tossing your energy into farming up for that Prism Crystal. Or if you're a spender, maybe putting a little bit of your raid budget towards getting that. For spenders, nice. For spenders, this is probably the one thing I'd say you spend on. Maybe also the daily energy. I don't know how good this is. Let's see. It's not terrible. It's not great either. I'd rather spend on the daily gem. It's 30 days of gems. It'll just help keep your gem stash high. I personally just claim for my gem mine every day, and obviously whatever tournament and event gems I can claim, and yeah, it just stacks up. Because I don't use them to refill energy as often. I don't use them to refill keys. I just do it what I can with the resources that I have. So yeah, guys, that is my take on being a free-to-play player and what to expect coming into the mid game of an account. If you found this video useful, if you were maybe unsure of certain things within the video, let me know and I can clarify it in the next one. Until then, I've been Numbers. It's been a Raid Shadow Legends informational video. Peace out.